Hey, welcome to day number 28 and 29. My name is Eric, and I'll be showing you a couple of really cool updates that we've pushed out in the last day or two. So the first one is going to be our buildings. These are what give you supply when your troops capture them. So now we've got buildings that have 3 different stories to them, and they also have the different types of flags that indicate the type of unit that they provide once they're captured, and they also show the color of the owning faction. These buildings can also be destroyed, so when that happens, we just replace one of the floors with rubble, and as the building gets increasingly turned into rubble, then the supply flag goes away and nobody gets it. So likewise here, and likewise here. And we can also change the height of the buildings dynamically, so it's pretty neat. I was a little bit unhappy with the way these flags turned out, so this is kind of like the very first art pass. One of the issues that I have right now is that these icons are kind of hard to see against the background. Like the blue is a pretty dark color, and we've got black on blue, so it's gonna have a pretty hard contrast. And then this tank right here is not really looking like a tank. It looks more like a duck, especially if you look from the back. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue, because when players are going to be flying through the level, they're going to be going about this fast, and it's going to be hard for them to see exactly what type of buildings or what kind of units are provided by the buildings. Anyway, that's the problem for later. The main effort right now was to get this functionality going with the different buildings. I had this really fun idea. It was just too fun for me to skip on it. So the idea is that we've got balloons, and they have mines suspended off of the balloons. And if you fly into the mines, then they explode and do damage to you. You can also shoot the balloons, and the balloons will drop the mines, and they'll just kind of pop. And as you can also see, the balloons have this little piece of string that's attached to the mine, so if you decide to ignore the balloons and the mines entirely and just fly through the string, what's going to happen is the physics is going to whip that mine around, and it's going to hit you, and it'll blow up instead. I also set these balloons up so that they can have like this chain reaction action happen. So if you shoot a bullet at a mine, then the mine will explode, and the explosion will detonate any adjacent mines. And we've got a whole string of explosions ready to go here. So I've got a simulated bullet that's going to fall. Let's increase the height here. And as soon as I hit play, you're going to see this happen. You ready? Here we go. And then, because there's no more mines holding down the balloons, they just start floating upwards. And they've got their little string that's kind of like dangling, so it's kind of like a birthday party surprise. Yay, lots of balloons. So it took me all day to get this string to work and the balloons to float up correctly as I had hoped. So the string was actually pretty hard to figure out, because I am terrible at Maya. I do not know anything about it. So I had to create like this cylinder, and then learn how to do rigging, and then skin the string to a whole bunch of joints. Let me pull that up here. So it looks, whoops. Oh man. As soon as you switch from one engine or interface to another, it's really hard. Anyway, I have this cylinder now that's got 10 different bones, and once you export this, you have to do some more funky magic inside of Unreal. So let's see. for the rope, you have to have like this. Whoa, what happened? Oh, I'm using the Maya interface now. I switched back to Unreal. Anyway, you've got this rope that's got these different physics assets and constraints, and in order for it to behave like a rope, you have to do some magic with the joints. It took me a long time to figure this out, and it's super simple, and I'm sure somebody who knows a lot more about animating and rigs and all that stuff can figure this out in 5 minutes. Anyways, we've also got our land crawler, which has an airplane that pops out. So I'll give you a quick demo. Let's hide this really quick so we don't get explosions. So our land crawler will poop out an airplane. The airplane will go up the lift, and it will be brought to the deck. And now we can fly off of the flight deck. It's still super rough. And then you should be able to shoot the balloons, but I turned off that collision for the sake of debugging. Oh, they should have a little bit more upward trajectory there. Anyway, progress is being made every day, consistently but slowly, and this game is slowly starting to turn into a pretty cool game. Oh, one other cool thing about these balloons. You can tell I spent a lot of time on these. You can change the color of the balloons, so you can either change it to be a random color, or if you want to have like nothing but red birthday balloons, you can set that. So they're nice and shiny. Very pretty. Anyway, that's it for today. I will probably come back to this on Monday, and we'll resume development. And yeah. In terms of goals, on May 4th in Seattle, there is going to be an indie game fest of some sort. So that's coming up in about 1 month. My objective is to have a playable version of this game ready for that event so that we can start getting user feedback and figuring out if we're making a game that's fun, a game that's playable, a game that people from the random public can pick up and learn how to play relatively quickly. This will give us some pretty good feedback on whether we're on the right track, or if there's some issues that we need to work on, or if there's polish features that we need to massage, or if people want to see something that's not in the game that we should add. So I think the pace of development is going to be accelerating here in order for us to meet that deadline, and I think we should expect to see some pretty rapid progress in the next few weeks. Anyway, thank you for watching, stay tuned, and if we actually do make that progress, we will see you in a few months. See you later.